Throughout human history, some events defy logic, probability, and even our understanding of how reality is supposed to work. Historians explain much of the world through cause and effect, through documented patterns, and through predictable human behavior. But some stories have no clear explanations. They exist in history like cracks in the surface of reality, strange alignments of people, dates, disasters, and predictions that seem too precise, too improbable, too chilling to be ignored. Today, we dive into the most unsettling coincidences ever recorded, stories that challenge what we consider random chance, and force us to ask whether the universe is connected in ways we don't yet understand. Our journey begins with one of the most famous disasters in modern history, the sinking of the Titanic, but long before the ship struck the iceberg on that April night in 1912. Several writers, spiritualists, and even maritime experts described a sinking so eerily similar that many people later believed it was a prophecy. The most famous example is Morgan Robertson's Satan 98 novella Futility, or The Wreck of the Titan, in the book. A luxurious, unsinkable ship, the largest ever built, hits an iceberg in the North Atlantic on an April night. There aren't enough lifeboats. Thousands die in freezing waters. The fictional ship's name, Titan. The parallels don't end there. The ship's size, speed, the location of impact, the number of survivors, even the arrogance of the crew. Robertson described details that match the Titanic disaster with unnerving accuracy. He insisted it wasn't a prediction, but a result of his knowledge of maritime engineering. Yet, the similarities remain one of history's most disturbing coincidences. Some say it proves future events cast shadows backward. Others think it is an early example of what we call reality echoes, patterns repeating themselves whether we notice them or not. From the icy Atlantic, we move to a man whose life was marked by survival in the most unbelievable way. Tsutomu Yamaguchi was in Hiroshima on August 6, 1945, when the first atomic bomb was dropped. He survived the explosion, wounded and traumatized, and traveled home to Nagasaki only to face the second atomic bomb 3 days later. Yamaguchi lived through 2 nuclear blasts, became an advocate for peace, and carried the scars of history in his body. Statistically, his survival is almost impossible, but his story is not unique. Several others experienced similar double survival, raising questions about fate, probability, and whether certain people seem to orbit historical catastrophes without falling into them. Science can't explain why some individuals repeatedly encounter disaster and live, while others are taken in an instant. Some historians call it cosmic bad luck, others, cosmic design. And then we enter the world of twins, people so genetically similar that they share not just appearances, but sometimes thoughts, emotions, injuries, and even deaths. Throughout history, numerous verified cases describe twins who experience telepathic-like connections, finishing each other's sentences despite being thousands of miles apart, sensing moments of danger, waking from identical nightmares at the same time, or even dying within hours of each other due to unrelated causes. One of the most famous modern examples involves 2 twins separated at birth and adopted by different families. Both were given the same first name. Both pursued similar careers. Both married women with the same name. Both named their first sons identically. And when they eventually met as adults, their lives mirrored each other with a precision that defies coincidence. Neuroscientists say twins share deeply linked neural pathways, but that alone can't explain the most extreme cases. Many cultures believe twins share a single soul split in two. Whether myth or metaphor, their stories remain some of the most compelling evidence that humans may be more interconnected than we realize. But some coincidences take place not in the silent link between two people, but on the scale of nations shaping world events and casting long shadows over history. The tragic events of September 11, 2001, are surrounded by a number of strange coincidences. It's important to approach this topic with respect, accuracy, and clarity, steering away from but it is a documented fact that before the attacks, several unusual artistic, literary, and media references seemed to mirror aspects of the event. A 1999 film poster showing the Twin Towers with a fiery crash. A 1997 episode of a popular show depicting a plane targeting a skyscraper. Even older works from architecture books to disaster novels depicted scenarios eerily similar to what would unfold on that morning. None of these were predictions, but their cumulative effect leaves a haunting impression. Sometimes, collective imagination stumbles into the path of real events, not by foresight but by coincidence, magnified in hindsight. And speaking of hindsight, few historical coincidences are as famous or as strange as the parallels between Abraham Lincoln and John F. Kennedy. These two presidents, separated by nearly a century, share a list of similarities so long and so specific that mathematicians have tried unsuccessfully to model the probability. Both were elected to Congress in years ending in 46. Elected president in years ending in 60, succeeded by men named Johnson, born in years ending in 08. Both were shot on a Friday. Both were shot in the head. Lincoln was shot in a theater called Ford. Kennedy was shot in a car called Lincoln, made by Ford. The list goes on. Some entries are coincidences of pattern. Others are fabrications added later. But even after removing the invented details, the remaining parallels are astonishing, almost poetic, as if history itself echoes its greatest tragedies. But perhaps the darkest coincidence in political history involves the curse surrounding the assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand, the event that sparked World War I, the car he was riding in on the day he was killed. 1910 Gerfenstift became infamous after the assassination. According to historical reports, nearly every subsequent owner of the car met with violent accidents, crashes, amputations, suicides, unexplained deaths. Some historians dismiss the curse, citing the dangerous early automotive era. Others believe the vehicle carried a psychological or symbolic weight, influencing the behavior of its drivers. But for many, it is a chilling example of an object marked by catastrophe and artifact that seems to carry the echo of the tragedy it witnessed. From cursed objects, we move to something even more mysterious. Déjà vu, those fleeting moments when we feel we've lived a moment before, not in a general sense, but in extreme, vivid detail. While most people experience déjà vu occasionally, historical cases exist where individuals claimed to foresee disasters moments before they happened. A man in Victorian England reportedly insisted he had seen a train crash before boarding, described it in detail, was ignored, and then perished when the crash occurred exactly as he described. In other cases, diaries revealed chilling entries written the night before massive disaster, fires, collapses, describing dreams or visions nearly identical to the events. Were these coincidences? Precognitive dreams. or the human brain's attempt to make sense of traumatic unpredictability. Science says, déjà vu is a memory glitch misfiring neurons overlapping experience and recall. But those explanations don't fit the most extreme historical cases, where too many details align for random chance. And then there are the prophetic warnings recorded long before history-changing events. Ancient civilizations carved omens into stone before catastrophes, claiming they saw signs in the stars or in patterns of animals. Medieval monks wrote about nightmares of collapsing towers days before earthquakes. A Déjà writer described an ocean liner sinking in the same region and in the same way as the Lusitania disaster years before it happened. These stories exist everywhere, across time and culture, suggesting humans occasionally sense great shifts before they occur, even if we don't recognize the pattern until it is too late. When viewed individually, each of these stories can be dismissed as coincidence, probability, or selective memory. But when viewed together, they form a pattern. History is filled with moments where reality feels thinner than it should be, where impossible alignments occur with no clear cause. Are they random? Are they evidence of hidden forces? Are they signs of connections we don't understand? Or are they reminders that history is not as linear, not as predictable, and not as rational as we want it to be? In the end, coincidences challenge our understanding of time, consciousness, probability, and fate. They force us to consider the possibility that the universe is less like a machine and more like a story. And in every story, patterns emerge, as some intentional, some accidental, all deeply human. If this video left you with questions, you're not alone. Tell me in the comments, which of these coincidences disturbed you the most? And do you believe these events were random or something else entirely? Because one thing is certain, history never repeats itself exactly, but sometimes it rhymes in ways we can't explain. And if you enjoy exploring the mysteries, echoes, and strange alignments of our world, make sure to subscribe. There are many more stories waiting beneath the surface stories that challenge everything we think we know about the past and next gene. We go even deeper.